τώρα ο διάσημος συγγραφέας και καθηγητής του Πανεπιστημίου Στάνφορντ, Φράνσις Φουκουγιάμα, μίλησε αποκλειστικά στον SKAI και τον Απόστολο Μαγκυριάδη, εκτιμώντας πως η Ευρώπη θα περάσει έναν πολύ δύσκολο χειμώνα με ύφεση. Ο συγγραφέας του best seller «Το τέλος της ιστορίας» που ήρθε στην Αθήνα για το συνέδριο του Economist, υποστήριξε πως είναι κρίσιμο η Ουκρανία να αντισταθεί στη Ρωσία και να μην παραδοθεί.
Professor Fukuyama, thank you for being with SKAI tonight. Do you think that the war in Ukraine will last, and what will be the long-term consequences for Europe?
Well, I think there's conventional wisdom that it's going to be a long war that will be a very frozen and a stalemate. I'm not sure that that's true. I think that actually the Ukrainians may have hit the low point in their fortunes. And at this point, they're getting lots of Western weapons, a lot of training. And I think it's possible that they could actually push the Russians out of some of the territories that they occupied early in the war. I think that's very important that they show forward momentum, because the moment things slow down, you get all these calls for a ceasefire, for negotiations, for some kind of negotiated settlement. And I think that would be a big mistake, because I don't think that Putin will observe a ceasefire longer than it takes to rearm and start up again. So I think it's important that the Ukrainians regain that momentum.
What do you think is Russia's strategic goal through this war?
It's not a big mystery. I mean, Putin's been talking about this. He really wants to reverse the collapse of the Soviet Union. He wants to extend Russian influence back into Eastern and Central Europe. That's his ultimate goal. He does not like the European settlement that occurred after 1991, and that ultimately is what he wants.
And could Europe really sustain itself? We read some terrifying projections for energy prices in the upcoming winter.
Well, it's going to be very hard. I think it depends on leaders, convincing their publics that they need to go through this period of privation. And that's why it's important, actually, that we regain some momentum in the war, because if you say, well, this is going to be a situation for the next 5 years, that's not politically sustainable. If you say, this winter is going to be hard, but then there's light at the end of the tunnel, then I think, you can get through it.
Do you foresee a recession for Europe and the US next year? And could we talk about possible political consequences, maybe the rise of populists or extremists?
Well, of course, that's, I think it becomes more and more likely as time goes on that we will have a recession. Whether that leads to a rise of populism, that's dependent on a lot of other factors. And so, hopefully we can get through this.